You've probably heard that getting a bad CSA score can lead to investigations, fines, or even shutting down your trucking company altogether. And that's true. Well, kind of. I'm Caroline, your trucking business professor here at the Bobtail Help Desk, and my goal is for your trucking business to thrive. If that sounds good to you, give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. At Bobtail, we provide a factoring service for truckers so you can get paid fast with no long-term contracts and no hidden fees. If you'd like to learn more about that, there's a link in our description. Okay, shameless plug over. Let's talk about CSA scores. Technically speaking, there is no such thing as just one single CSA score. The term CSA score is used as shorthand to describe the data-based profile that the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, FMCSA, keeps on every trucking company. While the FMCSA doesn't actually use the term CSA score, they do have an extensive compliance safety program called Compliance Safety and Accountability, or CSA. The CSA program determines safety measurements in two major ways. The first is through on-site investigations, after which the CSA may issue a Safety Fitness Determination, or SFD rating, more simply called a safety rating. The second is through ongoing safety performance data organized into a centralized safety measurement system, SMS. The SMS issues percentile ratings between 0 and 100 for 7 categories of safety compliance. We'll get to those in a little bit. Let's start with the SFD, or safety rating. There are 4 possible ratings that the FMCSA may issue after an on-site investigation. Satisfactory means the FMCSA has determined a trucking company meets basic safety fitness standards. Conditional means the CSA program administrators don't think a company's safety practices are sufficient to prevent dangerous situations, but that they haven't actually violated a safety fitness standard. Unsatisfactory means the trucking company is failing to comply with CSA safety rules and that safety violations have occurred and been documented. And unrated means that the FMCSA hasn't issued an SFD rating for the carrier. So a good SFD rating would be satisfactory, or unrated if you haven't gone through any investigations yet. So what happens if you get a bad CSA safety rating? If you get a conditional rating, you can get warning letters, targeted roadside inspections, investigations, or a cooperative safety plan, CSP, for ongoing monitoring of your safety performance. An unsatisfactory rating can lead to an out-of-service order, meaning you can no longer operate. Either of these ratings can increase your insurance premiums or lead to a refusal of coverage altogether, and you can't operate without insurance, so this can get you into some serious trouble. But remember that SFD, or safety ratings, is only one of 2 types of scoring that the FMCSA uses. The safety measurement system gets more specific, calculating a percentile rating for 7 behavior analysis and safety improvement categories, or basics. So how does the CSA program calculate basic percentiles? First, the FMCSA collects data from a variety of sources, including roadside inspections, CSA investigations, crash reports from state or local law enforcement, and carrier census data. Then the data is organized into the 7 basics. The first is unsafe driving. This includes operating a commercial vehicle in a careless or dangerous way. Examples of violations include speeding, texting while driving, and skipping the seatbelt. Next is the crash indicator. This is the history and severity of any crash involvement. Next is hours of service compliance, including any violations of the FMCSA's hours of service regulations. Examples include drivers operating longer hours than what is permitted by HOS rules and the falsification of records. Next is vehicle maintenance, used to monitor improper or insufficient maintenance. Violations can include operating an out-of-service vehicle, missing brake lights, dropped freight, or skipping repairs. The next category is controlled substances and alcohol. This includes the operation of CMVs by drivers under the influence of alcohol or other controlled substances. Violations can include a driver's possession or use of controlled substances, or the carrier's drug and alcohol testing program. Next is hazardous material compliance, which includes any violations of hazmat regulations. This can include failures to label containers or trailers or missed inspections. And finally, driver fitness, meant to prevent unfit drivers from operating CMVs. This is used to monitor driver-related factors like missing driver qualification files or expired commercial driver's licenses. It's important to understand that every possible safety violation can be categorized into one of these 7 areas. Each violation is also assigned a level of severity, where 1 represents the lowest crash risk and 10 the highest. Violations are also weighted depending on how long ago they occurred, with violations happening in the last 6 months carrying the most weight. Violations that happen more than 24 months ago do not affect a carrier's scores. So for all of these categories, the SMS considers the number of violations, when they occurred, and their severity, along with the number of inspections for that carrier's fleet in the same time period. Then the SMS compares these measurements to other carriers with similar characteristics and calculates a percentile from 0 to 100. So what is a good basic percentile? Well, the closer you can get to 0, the better. You want to be in the lowest possible percentile. The FMCSA did publish basic intervention thresholds in August 2021. Remember, these can change over time. Here are those thresholds for general freight trucking companies, not including hazmat haulers. These thresholds will trigger an FMCSA intervention, whether that's a warning letter, on-site investigation, or out-of-service order. But these are just the published FMCSA thresholds. They can intervene in cases with lower percentiles, and insurance companies may have different guidelines altogether. For more help navigating CSA, you can find the FMCSA's CSA page linked in the description below. To check your company's current basic percentiles, you can access the SMS by typing in your DOT number. I hope this information helped you get a little closer to understanding safety compliance in trucking. As always, you can leave your questions and comments below. Don't forget that we have a Bobtail Help Desk Facebook group where you can ask all your trucking business questions and get insights from other carriers. And I'll see you in the next video.